bad side of school, but most schools, stuff like what? Rape, abuse, suicides, that happens in every school.
Yep.
It's not. And then having 30% of kids think it's fake, and they don't think it actually happens, that's not good. That's where they made shows like that to kind of show kids what's actually going on and kind of shine a light on the subject.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring anything up, Trevor?
The suicide on this show.
That is true.
So I think we should stay on it because it is very important, as you were saying, to talk about it, to bring up these issues. And so let us just bring up what we were talking about previously.
About them not shining a light on it in schools when something happens.
Yeah, and so, you know, my video is literally called, well, the stream's called, exposing the school district. So, I mean, let's connect the schools and suicide right now.
Okay. So yeah, most of the time, you know, when a kid commits suicide, schools try to hide it, so it makes them not look bad, like it was their problem. Kind of like, wait, Ty, didn't you say something about the one kid on your bus?
Yeah.
Go to
I get on my bus.
yeah, for school. Yeah,
But,
I never heard about it.
Yeah, he
School
killed
never
himself.
brought it up.
Only the people on the bus really talked about it. And yeah,
It's just horrible.
It's like, that's something I need to know. That something like that happened in my school, not, oh, everything's fine.
Yep. And, I mean, let us just talk about administration in schools. Well, I mean, and a lot of the times it's not even the administration's fault, even though it is up to them to make sure that the school is running properly. But a lot of the education laws that have been put in place have just been so outrageously stupid.
Yes.
And just some of the dumbest. I mean, first off, I'm just gonna bring it up. Christianity has been taken out of the schools, and with that, a sense of morality has been left, and rape and suicide and such things have followed in suit.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Didn't they take that out of schools because they didn't want to force kids to follow one religion? They wanted everyone to be able to choose what they wanted to do.
It was...
That's what I've read.
Yeah,
why they took religion public schools.
Yeah, that was the surface level reason why.
That's the one they talk about.
Right, but you know, the real motives behind it are oftentimes hidden, and I'll just explain to you what, you know. So, I mean, the main person, what was her name? Allison, I want to say...
Unless you want to actually use full names.
Well, yeah, she was
the person that passed the thing?
There was many who... Not the American one, but the one who worked for the UN back in the day. She was the one who led the charge in eradicating Christianity and the Bible from public schools in the 60s and in the 50s in the UK. And she was ultimately successful, and she was part of the Lucifer Trust, which was an organization that was trying to eradicate Christianity from the world. Education was the greatest place to start, and they were completely correct in that way, because so many people have moved away from Christ since then because of her ideas that were very innovative and no Christian was willing to stand up to it. And because of that, we are left with a very
Are you gonna
secular
stand up? Are you gonna go after it?
education. I mean, we try our best, but Christians really have no say. Um, but I really do want to
That's
have a
true.
conversation with Hewitt
It's
despite
also
this, which is our principal's name. I'm legit calling him out right now.
he's
But
one of the people you're allowed to call out.
really?
Yeah, you can call him out. He's a big problem.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Ty.
I kind of wanted to touch back on the suicide on the
I think
bus.
we're gonna get back to that after Trevor gets done with his thing with Christianity in the school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Then just
Yeah, we're gonna
continue,
go
sorry.
back to suicide.
I was gonna say something else about it, but I was letting Trevor go on with his.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just finishing up in the fact that the Lucifer Trust eventually came out to end up being the UN. And after that, of course, we have non-Christian schooling and non-Christian education, and then just the rest followed. And so now we can move into your guys' thoughts on the suicide and um, the teaching and all that.
Alright, well, even on my bus, the kid's brothers, or three of his brothers, rode the bus, his really close friends, and everyone on the bus really knew him. But when he killed himself, even all the people on the bus, and the bus driver was telling people to shush, like that it's too serious to talk about. And the people on the
Something we
bus
need
were
to talk
whispering.
about.
Yeah, the people of the bus were whispering, and the only way I heard about it was from many different people, like hearing bits and pieces, and then I got the full story from someone. But it was even on the bus, it wasn't even okay to talk about, and the kids' friends were right there. They were
Hmm.
Yeah.
uh, they're on the bus and they're riding with us, and
Hmm.
it's bad. It's even to
Hmm.
the point where the kids' friends don't even talk.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. AC.
Trevor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think is like major cause of like suicides. Like what in thing you think caused it the most? Like recently, I'm talking about maybe
Yeah.
like 2005. The no,
Yeah. Well, of
'Cause
course.
I know the answer, but just want to see if you have an idea.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's really any one given reason for it, but I would certainly say that the break of the father in the home and the father not being present and not establishing basic fundamental family principles and biblical principles in the child really has a tough impact. Of course, you can say friends. I mean, friends are of course important, but I really do think a family that cherishes the child is extremely important. And of course, it's not just a basic family household that's important, but of course, Christian biblical principles that can make the godly man. And the godly man is truly a powerful man because he knows what he believes, and that is the most deadly thing in this society. But besides that, as far as suicide is, um, having the eternal joy of Christ is what we have as Christians have. We may not always be happy 24/7, but we have the eternal joy of Christ, and that's not what every religion has. And I'm kind of a person that's prone to depression, and believe me, I've had suicidal thoughts. but came to know Christ and you know the love of Christ for you, his love for you, it just overpowers everything on this entire earth. And I think that is truly the main reason, is not having that joy of Christ implanted. So that's my thought. Ty, you want to say something about that before I see gives his belief?
Believe that. Yeah. Ty, do you have anything?
Um, you can start right now.
Okay. So about, I'm saying mobile phones, and in high schools, because there was a lot around 2008, the time when you could start texting and your parents didn't really know about it, and kids could start like cyberbullying you and calling you ugly and fat. That caused people's like self-esteem. It caused it to go down. They thought, is it worth living? What's the point of living? And then there was a movie on Hulu. Trevor, I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Cyberbully.
No.
It touches on the subject of, I think it's still on Hulu if you have Hulu. It's an hour and a half, I think. 2011 movie. But they talk about the subject, how I think she turned 16 or something, and she got her first phone. But then kids started like saying hateful stuff to her that made her feel less about herself. And also another cause of it is genetic, with some people are genetically more prone, like you said, to depression.
Yeah.
And have suicidal thoughts. And I honestly, in my opinion, I don't really think it matters too much if you have the father or somebody in the household with you. I think if you're not mentally tough enough, or if you just have your mom, if your mom doesn't support you and your friends don't support you, I feel like that can cause suicidal thoughts and for it to actually happen. But a father would help, but I still think it could happen with a father in the household.
Yeah, and I think so too, but I think the chances of it happening are far less with the father.
And also you have to think about if a kid gets addicted to alcohol, that type of stuff. It can cause them to think less about themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, a father could try to help you, but sometimes once you have those thoughts in your head, if they get far enough in your brain, about 90% of the time it's going to happen. There's no trying to like talk someone out of it once they get too far into the process of it, wanting to do it. Ty, if you want to touch on that with your thoughts. I know that was a lot.
So I'm playing this game, so I wasn't paying too much attention, but I kind of got what you were saying. You were saying like how drugs and alcohol makes people feel less about themselves. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, because it can affect their brain. Because alcohol and drugs are proven to affect your thought process.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I also talked about mobile phones and like social media, cyberbullying.
Yeah, I certainly think
That was a big cause back in the early 2010s. It's kind of settled down a little bit, but it's still a thing.
No, I think it just all obviously contributes.
Yeah.
And I think the one that would probably affects more people because more people do it is social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got much more to say.
And we got deep in that.
But I mean, to add, I would say, to have, I mean, so you were talking about.
I'll add something after that. What
Okay,
you're gonna say?
Yeah, so like, the
just
support of the
hit me.
mother is a feminine support, and the man, the masculine support is vital, and if I didn't have my father, I probably would be dead, and not supporting me, and just the stats as far as even in the black community, show that the father's not in
Yeah.
the house. Um, and it affects so many things, and if you only have one side, and that's why so many people are becoming gay, because they only
Yeah.
have that feminine um, example to go off of, and their
But you
example.
can't have either or.
Exactly.
If you have a father's side, if you only have a father, then you're gonna become more aggressive and more, and that leads to stuff and problems. But if you have more of a feminine side in your household, that can lead to other stuff, like becoming gay and all of that.
Yeah.
So you need both in your household. I'm just saying, if you have an older sibling, like an older brother or something, that can also
Yeah.
help if you don't have a father, but some people aren't lucky to have older siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they are the oldest sibling and they have to kind of tough it out. You can go on.
Yeah. And so yeah, I just had that to say about both of those sides being in the family, and it is the root of a load of problems in our societies today. Mainly in first world countries, that is what we are seeing in America, in the UK, in all the first world countries we are seeing this problem, and basically all over Europe we are seeing it. So I see whatever you wanted to say after.
Oh, I wanted to bring up that it's not just the kid that has his hood up in class and he's sad and doesn't talk to people. It could be the, star quarterback on the football team.
Yeah. True.
It could, and then one falls, maybe he injures himself and he loses football, and that makes him think less of himself.
Yeah.
And that's why you should probably try to be nice to most people you see because you don't know what's going on with them.
I think we've talked about this before. But these things that we're saying that makes people kill themselves or just cause a lot of bad things in general are things that the Bible is telling us not to do, and as we were seeing, like the lessons of the Bible and God in schools and pretty much everywhere. These morals, maybe you could say, of that. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing more of the non-Christian belief on the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good to have both because your viewers that are non-Christian, they're gonna probably look more at what I'm saying, and then Christian viewers are gonna probably look more at what Trevor's trying to say. Saying in what you're saying.
True. But
I don't know if I want to get into this, but
we can still identify with both. I mean, well, not necessarily completely, but I mean, I totally understand and I totally agree with what you're saying as far as cyberbullying.
If you look at the numbers since social media and mobile phones kind of started taking off, suicide numbers kind of increased.
Yeah.
Like, it was a thing before, but as soon as that happened, teenagers were killing themselves left and right. And schools still haven't really figured out how to... They slowed it down a little bit, but they really haven't slowed it down too much.
Well, tell me this. Riddle me this. Why would you live your life if there's no point to life? What is the point to life? And if there's no point to life, why would you live that life?
That's the thing. You
But-
could have a purpose in life, but one thing could make you lose your purpose in life. And then you're gonna think taking your life is the option because you don't have a purpose.
But see, the Christian never loses his purpose.
I'm not saying that I'm talking about just Christian, I'm talking about in general though.
Yeah, I know, but like the purpose Ty, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm wondering because I would think that this is the atheist view for most people, but um, um, yeah, is the purpose for like your life or their life, is it just to continue on and make the next generation's life better? I feel like that's
Ooh,
the purpose for. I mean, I don't know, but
I feel like
I
most
think that's what I'm seeing.
people just want to live their best lives. They just want to
Um,
live, but as soon as the purpose of living is gone,
I think
they don't want
that's
to live.
yeah. Sorry, I think that's nowadays because back a long time
mhm.
ago, I think the purpose was for to make the next generation better, and now we're mostly thinking about ourselves.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That is so true. To bring up the selfish part, we are so selfish in this day and age. We cannot
yeah,
deny that. We're so selfish. Um,
especially in America.
and I think, and I think Christianity can fix that in a heartbeat because we're not looking at ourselves, but we're looking at saving people. Um, and once I realized that, my life wasn't so much more about what I can do for the world and with my gifts and with all that and what will make my life funner and all that, but it was about how can I save these people? How can I save them from this reality of hell? Um, and living a good godly life. That's the point of life. But if you don't have any point of life, if you don't have any worldview that has an outlook on life that is worth living, even if you lose things, like if you're a Christian and if you break your leg, who cares? It doesn't matter. I mean, your point of life hasn't been demolished, but if you aren't a Christian, it has.
You must say something after you get done.
Yeah, and so
Or something to add on to that.
yeah, so just say what you got to say right after what I just said.
Okay. Okay, like you said, how about breaking your leg, the Christian still has a purpose, but other people they kind of lose it.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a football player, like I mentioned, or like the star quarterback. Let's say your dad left, or your mom, or they never like pay attention to you, kind of,
Mhm.
and you lose. And football was kind of the only reason you were connected to your dad was football, and then you lose the ability to play football. You kind of lost your connection to your father, and then that purpose is gone.
The purpose of what? Your
The
father?
purpose of living, the purpose of kind of pushing on every day to play football so your dad will pay attention to you or your
Oh.
mom will acknowledge your presence.
So you're saying that like makes it worse? Like,
Yeah, because Trevor, let's say your parents like never paid attention to you and you played football and you were good at football. And then
yeah.
you hurt yourself and then your parents are kind of just said, "Oh, let's go pay more attention to Jacob. Is Jacob still healthy? He can still play."
So is that
What would you do?
so is that if
What would
I'm
you do in that situation?
is that if
If you
I'm
weren't a
still a
Christian.
Christian? If I weren't a Christian,
No, that's if you weren't a Christian. Let's just say
then
that.
then I would kill
If your
myself.
parent, yeah, because your parents aren't giving you any love or affection. They're not treating you like a equal. They're giving all their attention to Jake
Mhm.
instead of you.
Mhm.
Instead of trying to get evenly divide it out.
Mhm.
That's another one that I forget the people that do it. Isn't it psychologists? The people that would
Yeah.
study
Yeah.
stuff with your brain. That's another reason why they've learned that people will take their life.
Mhm.
Is because they lost their parents'
That's
attention.
that's true.
And they would probably do it for attention.
Mhm.
Because they're thinking, hey, if I kill myself, my parents will pay attention to me. They'll acknowledge that I existed. Instead of, if they keep on living, their parents are just going to say, oh, let's just forget about him.
So I have a proposition for you, Ted. Let's pretend that we aren't Christians. Just pretend. What would you be like? What would be your point to life?
This is interesting. I need to hear this.
Okay, this is actually a good question.
It really is.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
You get some water. I've been talking for about, what, half an hour?
Probably.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's see if we have a viewer.
Yeah. Alright, I think my purpose would to be to make my purpose I think would be to make the biggest impact on the world for my future family. So
Okay.
I would try to make my family powerful, and so all my ancestors
Wow, that's
later
good.
on would always be or powerful and have money and be able, yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think?
Trevor, what's your point? If you weren't a Christian.
All right, so let's move on to
And
me.
let's just not talk about how you said you have had, you're easily prone to depression and all of that. Just take that out of the picture.
Oh, so you're saying like I would just kill myself?
Yeah, and stuff. I feel like you could say that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You
So
could say
say
I would have no point.
so say that's not an option. Okay.
Yeah,
So with that not an option, um, I
just like
simply.
fulfill find Christianity.
Oh, my friend Brian Fatuson just sent me a message. I think I'm gonna invite him to a party real quick. Let's invite him to the party. That's my friend that invited me. I mean, he's my friend who um, I think that might be who it is.
Oh, we need
Hello,
to hear an
everybody.
8-year-old's opinion on suicide.
So, anyways, I would be a criminal mastermind. Um, I would be the guy raping every girl. I would be the guy murdering every man. I'd be the guy
Yes,
killing every
Jack the
Italian
Ripper.
mobster. I would be in New York City, drinking up a storm every night. Um,
Yeah,
I would be
sorry.
what time?
I think this is kind of still your Christian view on it. Am I wrong? Is this like still like kind of what your Christian view of like?
I'm an atheist. Because you've said that before. You've said
Yeah, yeah,
if
that's
you
what I
didn't
was
have Christianity, you would just do that. Oh, you've told us that before.
No, this is legit what I would actually do.
We need support.
Yeah, but isn't that your Christian view on why you would do that?
What do you
Or
mean?
maybe
I'm a
I don't
Christian,
know.
We
so
just
my
need.
view is Christian by nature.
I know, but we were saying like not actually. We're
Hello,
talking about
man.
Christian.
What's up? We're streaming right now. You can check it out at TreJ. I think you know what my YouTube channel is, but um, everybody here. So we got AC, we've got Ty, and we've got me, Trevor. Um, and we're just talking about what I would do if I wasn't a Christian. Um, and that is simply that I would give my life to crime and everything horrible. I would not try to do anything that was in any way good for the world. Because what's the point? Why would I? Why would I even try? and so that's what I would do. I mean, just I would be the criminal mastermind. You know, that would be my goal. That'd be pretty sick.
It would. Then you can have people talking about you 100 years from now, like kind of like Jack the Ripper,
Yeah, exactly.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Start bringing up people.
I wouldn't be like known for raping, but you know, I would definitely have that on my repertoire.
Yeah. And you kind of get the Jack the Ripper look too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get that look going on. I'll make your fan account.
Okay.
Your fan page.
But
You call him Trevor the Ripper.
oh, so Brian just told me he
Trev.
doesn't have a mic. I assume so.
Oh, he doesn't.
Man, but that's fine.
That's why he hasn't. That's why he
You can
hasn't
just-
sent anything yet.
Yeah, you can just text me if you want to propose any questions or anything. You just gave your life to Christ today, from my knowledge. And if you would like to maybe text a little bit about that, that'd be pretty sick. But yeah.
Just found another way to tie depression and suicide to the school system.
Yeah. What is that?
If you want me to go over it,
Yeah.
you know, like they said they want attention because no one gives them attention. As soon as they get it, it's fulfilled. Kind of like, you know, school shooting. The person thinks, this is my... Isn't, Trevor, don't they usually end up killing themselves before the cops get to them?
Yeah, typically they will kill themselves.
They usually will kill themselves. And that's usually also linked to depression. And that's just another way they're going to try to commit suicide by trying to take other people out with them.
Exactly, yeah.
The school board doesn't talk about that really. They tell us to get under a desk and lock the door.
Yep.
I'm 90% sure somebody with a gun could break the glass on a door.
Yep, true.
So, like, what's the point?
No.
Or there's the drill where you go, what is it? Just under the desk, turn up the lights, or go to the corner of your room, and then there's, what is it? Trevor, I don't know if you... Actually, no, you haven't been in a public school in a while. Besides last year.
Yeah.
I remember right after the Freeman shooting,
Yeah.
we spent an entire day telling us about how we're not supposed to let people in and all that,
Yeah.
and hide under your desk. And if
Really?
you think someone's gonna do it, you should tell someone. But the problem is, kids don't
my.
trust adults.
I know
They don't trust the adults to do anything. They think if they tell the adults are going to say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they should say, oh, you're on social media and the guy says, don't show up to school tomorrow, and they have a gun in the photo. You should be able to report that to an adult without thinking they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I saw that on Instagram or something, and I went to Hewitt, he would say, okay.
Yeah.
He would call up, what, a cop car to sit in front of the school?
Here, I'm gonna invite Garrett real quick, because I asked him if he was a Christian earlier, and he just texted me and he said no. So I think we might as well just get Garrett in here as well. Let's just get there. Yeah. Yeah. So I invited him. Let's give him a nice warm welcome if he shows up.
Let's just start talking about suicide right away.
Well, we'll be talking about Christianity, too.
I feel like that's a better way to let him in slowly.
Yeah.
Just if we just start a conversation with schools and suicide, yeah, I think he would leave. I'm surprised your friend's still here.
No, he's interested in what we have to say, I'm sure. But
We need to post this on.
oh, he
he's
just
he is gone.
he just left
He's like, nope, not today.
right after you said that. He's like, I'm still
What's up,
surprised.
good? I kind of want this video to get out there, you know?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about now, and kind of what you're talking about, but you're talking about the Christian view. but both of them, they're not being addressed in schools at all.
Yeah, they're both very. I mean, what you're talking about, cyberbullying. I mean, that's good stuff.
Cyberbullying, all of that. Suicide, depression, not thinking you're good enough, your parents not believing in you, all of that.
Yep.
And they don't trust going to their counselors at all because
Yeah.
what do counselors do? Oh,
Nothing.
if you're not on the football team, leave. But if you're on the football team, we'll try to help you.
Yeah.
It's your friend. What was the kid's name that left?
Fatusin.
What?
His last name?
Or what was... If you don't want to say his first name, you don't have to, but...
His first name's Brian.
Brian. That's what I thought. I want to know if we scared Brian away by talking about it, or if he had his audio coming through his TV and his mom walked in.
No, it was right when you said, "I'm surprised your friend's still here," and then he left, right as you said that.
Yeah.
He was just trying to make a point.
Well, he made a point.
He did, yeah.
Tell him to go get a mic. Meet him in the next discussion.
Yeah.
Mics are not expensive at all. You can buy earbuds with a little microphone on them for about $3.
Yeah.
So what's something else we can talk about? We got...
Ty, you got anything?
I was thinking,
I mean, did we go over abuse and, like, rape and all that?
We will. I want to hear what Ty has to say.
I was thinking,
I mean, we kind of went over it before, too, but now we're in a stream. Ty, you can go on.
get more into about school shooting.
Oh, school
yeah.
shootings.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a thing.
I actually,
Recently, kind of picked up more.
yeah.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think they said... What is it? Trevor, I don't know if you've read anything on school shootings, like the numbers of how frequently they're happening. I know there's a threat
Yeah.
almost every single day.
Probably.
Every high school at least receives hundreds of thousands of threats a year.
Um,
You
Well,
know,
the-
the threat happened when the cop's sitting outside. So that's gonna scare them away.
Yeah, maybe.
the reason why I brought this up was because my school in Marysville, Pilchuck,
Yeah.
had a school shooting.
What state was that in?
It's in Washington.
Washington? Is
Really?
it over
Yeah.
kind of by Seattle? That area
Yes.
is the
Pretty much
west side of the
touching.
state?
Yeah.
It's also a
Um,
problem over there, too.
Yeah.
Well, it's a problem everywhere, but
Yeah. So, what happened?
Well, a kid, and this goes back to what you were saying, AC, about how it could be anyone.
yeah.
Quarterback. He was like the prom king. He was elected prom king. He was big in sports, one of the most popular kids at the school. And he just pulled out a gun and he shot, I think it was 4 or 5 people, and then he shot himself.
Do you have any idea why this happened?
Yeah, I
Or an
remember
idea of what happened? Okay.
Yeah, I know quite a bit about it. But I just completely lost my train of thought.
It's
Oh
fine.
yeah, he pulled out a gun and then he shot 4 people, and 2 people died and 1 was paralyzed somewhere, and then 1 was she survived. And me and all 3 of my brothers went to that school, but we weren't there to that day. And if we were, my mom would have flipped the hell out.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of things about it, and his dad ended up getting arrested. because
Oh
it was
wow.
actually his father's gun that he gave his kid.
What?
Um, yeah, and this guy had a lot of interesting views on Republicans, or he was a Republican, and he has a lot of interesting views
Yeah.
um, about that. Um, uh, but it was pretty crazy.
Any other details?
I mean, there's a bit more if you want to ask me some questions about it.
AC, got anything right off the bat?
No, I'm just kind of trying to keep the thing that I was thinking about that happened really close to where I live about threat.
Wait, what?
Are you okay if I try to say this fast?
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, do you know Cheney Middle School?
He goes there.
You go to Cheney Middle School right now, or do you go to the high school?
I go to
Oh
high
no,
school.
no, I thought you said the high school. Sorry, AC.
At Cheney Middle School, I think my sophomore year, so about 2 years ago, some girl wrote in the bathroom saying, "Don't show up to school tomorrow, I'm gonna kill everyone." And when they found the girl that did it, they asked her why she did it, and she said, "Oh, I did it as a joke, I saw it on social media. I didn't think anyone would take me seriously." Those were her exact words, and I was dumbfounded. I was like, you thought it was a joke, so you wrote on a bathroom stall, "Don't show up to school tomorrow, I'm gonna kill everyone." And you thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
It's because people also don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
There was a kid at the high school too that said it was gonna happen, and he thought he was gonna get out of school. He thought if he made a threat, he would make school canceled for today, or the day.
Wow.
So you can continue on. I just needed to get that out there before I forgot it.
I don't think there's anything else I was gonna say.
So I mean, but you kind of left some details out.
Oh yeah,
Like,
if you
I
wanna
asked
ask-
why he did it. Like,
Oh,
do you know
why he
like what
did
was
it?
going on in his
Oh
house?
yeah, yeah.
Like what was?
It was
Yeah,
his house situation.
Yeah.
that's usually a major cause.
People were saying that his parents were always extremely nice people, and he
Really?
was a nice person. That's what people would say. But the cause was never really released. People just said he snapped one day, and it was just completely unexpected, especially the person that just did it. So not from what I knew, I don't know the reason why he did it, and I don't.
That's crazy, dude. That's just sinister.
And it honestly could have been anything. His girlfriend broke up with him.
Well, he
Something.
was prom queen with his girlfriend, so I don't
Really?
think
I don't think you could complain about that.
yeah.
Unless they like broke up or they got into a situation. How
No,
long was it
Lenny's-
after prom? Or was it like
Well, they
a week
they got
later?
I don't
Do you-
probably a couple weeks, maybe a month or two. I don't know. Not too sure.
And you gotta love how most people like me didn't hear about this until today.
I
Because the
know.
news hides everything bad. They don't want you to hear
Well,
about the
I
school
mean-
shootings or anything like that.
It was pretty well
I remember
released. I mean, the Seahawks went out on the field with the school flag.
Really?
I remember the Freeman shooting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard anything about it the day it happened, but I think the exact minute it happened, everyone in my class, their phones started like blowing up. Because people in my class knew kids from Freeman, and they started texting around. And like my parents would text me asking, "Did you hear about this?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was in the middle of math, and I actually pulled up my phone and like searched up, and apparently a few minutes beforehand, Freeman went into lockdown because of a shooting.
Yeah.
And that kid would have graduated this year. Or you know the guy that protected the students, the kid?
Yeah, that nice boy.
He would have
Wait, what?
graduated this year.
I never heard of this. What?
Oh,
You never heard
he
of the Freeman
was.
shooting?
That was a big shooting for us. 'Cause it
Yeah.
basically took over schools, and now schools are still trying to protect us from it now. That happened, what, freshman year? Right?
That long
Would have been
ago?
about freshman year. I think it was freshman year. I think it was like September or something of my freshman year. Or October. Yeah, the kid, he was in the hallway, and he actually took the bullets for like a group of like, I think eight the 10 kids so they could get away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
Weird.
was.
Do you know his name?
Oh,
I
I
forget.
knew his name.
He was was he a student?
He
Yeah.
was a student.
Wow, yeah.
But his parents actually said that's something that they thought he would have done. They thought he would have taken the bullets for the other kids to save somebody else's life.
That's pretty amazing. What he did. You said you were gonna invite like another guy. Did you say, Trevor?
Yeah, but he never showed up. AC, do you have him on your contacts if you want to like invite him?
What's
Like, if
his
you
gamer
wanna-
tag?
Just Garrett
Garrett
Hewitt.
Hewitt. He is in Rocket League right now, so I'm assuming he is playing with people on PC right now. So he's on a. He's probably in a Discord call right now.
Does Kate play with them or
Or-
something?
Or he's playing with Dawson because Dawson's also online. He might be playing with Dawson, so he might not want to join the party.
You might want to invite Dawson. Can you invite Dawson to the party? Talk about how his father's a horrible principal.
Yeah. I doubt he would show up though.
Yeah, true. Why though?
Because thinks he's all that.
True.
'Cause his dad's the principal. Like he can skip a week of school and still be the varsity basketball starting point guard.
Yeah.
And then the people that actually show up and put the work in, they get reduced to C team and JV because Dawson earned his spot, but he really didn't earn any of his spots.
No.
I mean, for soccer he technically did, but he's also put a lot of money into it.
Oh yeah.
Trevor, is there anything you want to bring up about school shootings at all?
I don't
Just
really
in general.
think about school shootings much, and I've done some research, of course, on school shootings, but not.
I mean,
like
I
a
don't think
ton.
about them a lot too, but
I don't
just
really
we
have-
just wanted to kind of bring up how they don't really happen, or they don't
Yeah,
get shown on the news as much. You'll see maybe 3 a year when there's over 1,000 shootings a year, but you'll hear about 3 or 4 in the news.
probably more like 10.
Depending on if they feel like it's important or not.
Well, yeah.
They usually go by the death numbers and the
Yeah.
location. That's what I've noticed. Like, if it's a high school in Los Angeles, they'll go over. But if it's a high school in a small town in, like, New Mexico or something, they're probably not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
They want to show the location. So, like, New York, Miami, the Florida, California areas, they're more likely to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, are we done with the school shooting topic?
Yeah, we're done with the school shooting topic. Other than that, I have to say that it's
Um,
sad.
It is sad. It's something that we shouldn't have to talk about, but
We do, and
we need
must
to
talk
address
about
it.
No. We must.
We can either. What's another subject we can talk about?
Oh, you were gonna
controversial.
bring up rape.
We
I
can
know
talk
you're gonna
about
bring up rape.
rape, sexual misconduct, abuse. We can talk about gang
Abuse,
violence.
abuse.
That's a problem.
Wait,
I
what
Gang
know
violence
violence?
is a problem in schools. Gang violence.
Yeah.
Do you know in the California area?
Yeah.
I've actually done a lot of research on that because it's an interesting topic.
What do you have to say about that? Like,
It's
what did you
something.
learn?
Are we going to talk about gang violence now?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
Most of the time, gang violence usually takes place in, from my knowledge, happens in lower income neighborhoods.
Yep.
Like if you go to, Trevor, didn't we talk about Los Angeles and you said there's the sketchy part of towns you don't want to go to?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kids probably 10 years old that are part of gangs that have guns,
Uh-huh.
and they get involved in gang violence from a young age, and it corrupts them. And usually, what was it? One of those towns, I think they said they lost on average 300 kids a year or something
Oh yeah.
to gang violence.
Oh yeah.
And that happens because I don't even know. The question is, no one really knows why it happened. It's usually an older sibling or a family member's part of a gang, and they
Yep.
usually follow in their footsteps. And
Yeah.
then usually schools do it by saying, "Oh, your kid needs to show up to school," and the parents like, "Why does he need to show up to school? What's school gonna do for him?" And then cops kind of, since they're lower income and usually colored, cops usually just kill them on the spot. But that's something we've talked about a lot.
Well, and I think it's also, if you're
About,
talking about Los Angeles, I would say it's MS-13.
They're bad.
Yep. You got your bold
Not
shirt,
a great
your
place to live.
Nike Cortezes. And
Oh, and there's also another Netflix show, obviously, that talks about the subject too. Trevor, do you have Netflix right now?
yeah.
Have you ever seen the All American or heard about it?
Yep. My brother used to watch it.
That show actually goes a lot into gang violence and stuff that happens in Los Angeles too.
Yeah.
And it's a little more friendlier than what actually happens, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend it, because it shows a different perspective on what happens.
I watched one episode and it
Actually-
was legit just like a party at school. And it was just like a bunch of...
Yeah, but after that
Girls
it gets
partying.
really into it.
Really?
It gets really in. I think if you get about halfway through season 1, they start really bringing up gang violence and stuff. And actually, not even just in Los Angeles. There's actually gang violence in north side of Spokane.
Yep.
It's a problem everywhere, but you usually just look at the like Los Angeles area and all of that. But
Chicago.
go to north side of yeah. Go to north side of Spokane, like no, everyone knows that Spokane's known for what? Homeless people, drugs,
Well, and...
just really
Vandalism.
dumb people protesting grocery outlet about not having to wear masks because they don't think they need to, so they're trashing grocery stores.
Really?
Karens that... Didn't I tell you about the Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
When I got... Remember I told you about my MRI and the Karen walked in, I guess, and she like lost it.
Yeah.
She said, "I've never had to do a temperature check in my life. This is outrageous. I'm just here to get an MRI done. And if you think I'm just gonna leave without getting my MRI done, you're wrong." The officer's like, "You're white. Just stop resisting and get in the car."
I know.
It was great. It was great stuff. Something that I really needed to record.
I especially just don't get this mask debate.
It's because
It-
for the longest time they said masks, they don't do anything, and now they're saying you must wear a mask in every business, and people are like, wait, didn't you just say they didn't help at all?
Yeah.
Well, that's just
Why are we wearing...
gaining
why are we
more
wearing masks
knowledge
now?
about the virus.
Yeah. But then you have the people in, like, Spokane that are like, really resistant. Like, more resistant than other people.
It's just
I'm,
because people don't like being told what to do in this country.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt you, it could only help. You know, I just don't get it why people wouldn't wear a mask. But,
Trevor, do you want
yeah.
to finish up with our school stuff before we start getting more into mask again?
yeah.
Or do you want to
Yeah,
leave the school?
let's